Welcome to HPS. I'm Isaac, and today we are doing an install video of the HPS exhaust on the Arctic Cat snowmobile. This install will work for all Pro Climb, Ascender, Arctic Cat chassis, including the new Yamaha Mountain Max, and even the Arctic Cat Blast chassis. All the snowmobiles that run the 800 C-Tec2 motors and the previous Suzuki 800 and 600 two-stroke motors. This install video is pretty broad and generic to work for all of those as well. The tools you will need to install the HPS to the Arctic Cat are very minimal. I recommend a flexible, long spring puller so that it can reach behind the mufflers and get the springs, exhaust springs that are hard to get to. You will also need a 3/8 socket and a 1/8 Allen wrench. You will also need a drill with a 7/32 drill bit. Your HPS muffler should come with a hardware set. This hardware set should be attached to the bottom of the muffler when you receive it. It is for attaching the base of the muffler to the belly pan of the sled and helps secure it tightly to the muffler so you can get rough in the bumps or in the jumps and it will never move. If you have ordered the HPS Suppressor Performance Exhaust for the Arctic Cat, it should also come with an extra spring. This spring will go on the back of the bracket and will attach to the spring hook on the chain case when installed. To start the install, we need to take out the stock exhaust from the snowmobile. You start by taking off the side panel on the exhaust side. There are two quarter turn fasteners. And you just lift and pull the panel off. From here, you have 4 springs on the stock muffler that you need to remove. 2 that are connecting the muffler to the pipe. And then 2 on the back side. 1 is towards the front, right here. And then 1 is on the very back side, back here. This one is kind of hard to get to sometimes. From there, the hardest part to this install is actually getting the stock muffler out of the sled. It sometimes takes an extra set of hands. If you've got a buddy with you, sometimes it helps for them to pull up on the pipe. You want to remove the exhaust gasket. You'll keep it for later, but you want to remove it so you don't damage it in the process of taking this muffler out. But what you'll want to do is lift up on the exhaust pipe, and then you've got to lift up on the stock muffler and lift out. There it is. Like I say, it helps a lot if you have an extra set of hands to pull up on that pipe. On the back side of this muffler, there will be 2 rubber pads. They kind of slide in to these brackets on the back of the muffler. You will want to remove 1 and use it on your HPS exhaust. While we have the stock exhaust and the HPS exhaust out of the sled, we might as well go ahead and weigh these. Stock exhaust coming in at 18.8. Remember, this exhaust has been run a little bit, so it is saturated with just a little bit of oil, but just at almost 19 pounds. The HPS suppressor exhaust, right at 6.2 pounds. The HPS regular performance exhaust, 4.6 pounds. So a pound and a half, almost 2 pounds lighter than the suppressor HPS performance exhaust and 14 pounds lighter than stock. After you have the stock exhaust pulled out, the next thing you will want to do is actually tip the sled on its side so that you can see the bottom of the belly pan. I have a little stand underneath the handlebar of the sled just to hold it up so it doesn't go onto the side panels. From here, you will want to drill out one rivet from the belly pan. And the ones we recommend are either this one up front or this one right behind the exhaust hole. So you will take your 7/32 drill bit and you will drill this rivet out. Now that we drilled one of the rivets out, we can put the sled back on the ground. In this video, we will be installing the HPS Suppressor Performance Muffler. This one will require a new spring on the back of the bracket stretching to this chain case. So if you remember the two exhaust springs we pulled out from the back of the muffler, the stock muffler, you can actually put those aside, keep them as spare parts. You will no longer need it. If you are putting just a regular HPS exhaust on and not the non-suppressor, you will use one of those springs to install this muffler. On the belly pan inside the sled, there is a foil pad, but you can feel some rivets that poke through. The base of the HPS exhaust has holes in the base plate that will actually slide over the rivets on the belly pan. Again, you may want an extra set of hands, but what you will want to do is lift the pipe up and make sure that the base plate on the muffler line up on the rivets in the belly pan. And that you are also snug on the cross member of the chassis on that bracket right there. Right there is exactly where we want to be. So from there, you can take the new spring, if it's a suppressor, and mount it on the back bracket of the HPS exhaust. And the best way to mount this spring is this will the shorter side will actually be the bottom, and you will hook it on the base like that and pull it up. So base up. Like that. Then you'll grab it with your long spring puller, and then you'll slide it onto the bracket of the HPS exhaust. Yeah. Just like that. Then take the two springs that connected the pipe to the muffler and put them back on. The last thing you will need to do to install the muffler into the sled is now put the hardware through the belly pan and through the base plate of the muffler. Take the hardware and just tighten the muffler to the belly pan. Once the muffler is installed in the sled, you're ready to put the side panel back on. The side panel can be a little bit tricky. There's one spot that is tricky on the side panel, and it's on the back side. When you put the side panel back on, you want to make sure that this flap here goes over this curved dorsal fin looking thing, like so. And it'll snap back together, and you just successfully installed the HPS Performance Exhaust on your Arctic Cat. With the HPS Suppressor Exhaust, you will be saving just about 11.5 pounds over stock, and with the non-suppressor, you're almost at 14 pounds weight savings over stock. Both mufflers are tuned and back pressure tested to be the same. So the performance gains that you will have on the regular HPS Performance Exhaust and the HPS Suppressor Exhaust will be the same, which is about 2.5 horsepower increases on the top end. Also remember that we recommend riding at a peak RPM of about 8,000 RPM. Do not go over 8,100. These Arctic Cat exhausts, the older Suzuki exhaust even, but once you reach about 81 peak RPM, the power curve drops off quite substantially, and that's even with a stock exhaust. But with the HPS, you've got just about a 2.5 performance gain over stock, as well as your weight savings. I'll show you right here, both exhausts, even the small one, does not have a straight through core exhaust. It does have baffling that the sound and the exhaust have to go around. And so for even the small size of the regular performance exhaust, it is fairly respectable in sound levels compared to race mufflers of this size. But if you are concerned about that little extra noise, the suppressor is, my opinion, by far the best exhaust you can go with for the Arctic Cats, as well as for your Arctic Cat Blast and for the new Yamaha Mountain Max. You now have one of the best performing, best sounding exhausts on your snowmobile, and you're ready to go hit the snow and have some fun. Thanks for watching HPS.